Welcome to the lecture on erythro and thrio nomenclature of organic molecules. So far, we had been discussing about assigning the DL configurations and the absolute configurations R and S. Now we are entering into a new system of nomenclature where we are using the prefixes erythro and thrio with the names of the molecules. And this system of nomenclature is applied only for the molecules with the two chiral centers with this following general structure. There should be two chiral carbon atoms. In one chiral carbon, the three groups connected are ABX, and in another carbon ABY. That means there should be two chiral centers with two similar groups and one different group. You can just take these erythros. This has two chiral carbon atoms. So it is obeying the first rule, that is, for assigning erythro-thrio nomenclature, the molecule should obey two conditions. That is, it should have only two chiral carbon atoms. Yes, this molecule has two chiral carbon atoms, therefore it obeys the first rule. Then rule number 2 is it should have the general formula CABX, CABY. These two carbon atoms are connected by a single bond, and in both the carbon atoms two groups should be the same. AB are same. Here you see HOH. Two groups are same and the third group should be different. So only for the molecules of this kind, the molecules are which are obeying these two conditions, we are applying this erythro-thrio nomenclature. When two similar groups present in the adjacent carbon atoms, adjacent chiral centers, are on the same side of the vertical line of the Fischer projection, then that isomer is called erythroisomer. The two similar groups, just look at this molecule. There are two chiral centers and we have seen two rules. The first rule, there should be only two chiral centers. Yes, there are two chiral centers. And it should be of the type C, ABX, ABY, AA, BB, XY. So this is obeying that rule also. And now, if the two similar groups are on the same side of the vertical line of the Fischer projection, this is the vertical line of the Fischer projection, and similar groups are on the same side of this vertical line of the Fischer projection, then this is called erythroisomer. Now just look at these two structures. These are mirror image isomers, enantiomers, but still they have similar groups are on they have the similar groups on the same side of this vertical line. Therefore, both are the names of both the molecules should have the prefix erythro, and both are erythroenantiomers. We have another set of examples here. These two are the enantiomers. Yes, there are two chiral centers with two similar groups, hydrogen, hydrogen, OH, OH, and the third group is different. And these two are enantiomers. And in both the structures we find the similar groups present in the opposite side of this vertical line in the Fischer projection formula. Therefore, these are thrio compounds. If the two similar groups are on the opposite side, they are called thrio compounds, and these two are thrio-enantiomers. I have given another example here where in the horizontal line we have the different groups. Here we have in the horizontal line we have the similar groups, hydrogen, hydrogen similar in the horizontal line, OH, OH in the horizontal line. But here the groups that are different were present in the vertical line. But here I have given an example where the two groups which are different in the horizontal line. So how are you going to identify this as erythro or trio? Yes, these are the similar groups, hydrogen, hydrogen on the same side. The two groups in the vertical line are also on the same side. That you have to remember. Therefore, this is the erythroisomer. The two groups which are present in the vertical line are also present in one side. They are on the same side. So if you feel it difficult, you can just examine by converting this Fisher projection into Sahar's formula. This is the carbon here in the front, and this is the carbon at the back. In this carbon you have hydrogen and chlorine in the arms, and in this carbon you have hydrogen and OH in these arms. The two groups in the vertical line have to be placed in the bottom lines. The two groups in the vertical line should be always taken in the bottom lines of the Sahar's formula. Now you can do a rotation so that this chlorine and OH are coming down. I am about this carbon-carbon single bond, I am doing a rotation. I am bringing this chlorine down. When chlorine comes down, this methyl will go here and hydrogen will reach here. That is what I have done here. Similarly, you bring this OH down so that the methyl will go here, hydrogen will come here. So you are getting this. Now you look at this structure. Now you can convert this Sagar's formula into Fisher projection. Always when you are converting the Sagars into Fisher, you draw a vertical line. At the top and bottom, you place these two groups. The groups which are shown at the bottom, which are shown downwards, should be kept at the top and bottom of the vertical line. So this chlorine is kept at the bottom, OH at the top. These two groups are present in the arms, methyl hydrogen, methyl hydrogen. In the Fisher projection, you can see similar groups on the same side. Therefore, this compound is erythroisomer. So you need not do this much of work. You can see the similar groups here, hydrogen, hydrogen on the same side, okay? The groups which are at the top and bottom are also on the same side. Therefore, the two methyl groups are also on the same side. So similar groups on the same side, therefore this is erythro. And you can confirm it by working out like this also. Now we shall consolidate the rules that we have to follow in assigning the erythro-trio notations for the compounds. Usually the erythro-trio-isomers, the erythro-isomer and trio-isomer are diastereomers. So for finding out whether the compound is erythro or trio, what we have to do is, step 1, find out the group or atom which is not common in the two adjacent asymmetric centers. So AB, and apart from that X and Y are there. So X and Y are the different groups present in the adjacent carbon chiral centers that you have to identify. So place these different groups on the top and bottom position of the vertical line in the Fisher projection formula. The X and Y should be kept at the vertical line, and arrange the rest of the groups or atoms in the horizontal position of the Fisher projection. Now after doing all this, if two similar groups are on the same side of the vertical line, that is called erythroisomer. If the similar groups are present in the opposite side, then it is called trio-isomer. Here is a problem for you to solve. Consider the following statements. There are 4 statements given about these 4 compounds. Consider the following statements about the Fisher projections A, B, C, D. Number 1 is A and B are erythroforms while C and D are thioforms. So now you have to find out whether A and B are erythro and C and D are thrio. There must be two asymmetric carbon for assigning erythro and thrio notations. So you have to identify whether these statements are correct or wrong. So the second statement is for assigning erythro-thrio notations, there should be two asymmetric carbon atoms. The third statement is C is a mesoform while B and D are DL forms. That means B and D are enantiomers. DL forms means they are enantiomers. The fourth one, A and B are mesoforms while C and D are diastereomers. So, which of the above statements are correct? 1, 2 and 4, 2, 3 and 4, 3 and 2 and 4. So, which among these statements, these four answers is correct? That we have to find out. Let us do it. I have taken the four molecules which were shown in the previous slide here, A, B, C, D. The first statement given there was A and B are erythroforms while C and D are thioforms. Here you can see the similar groups in A. In case of A, the similar groups are on the same side of the vertical line in the Fisher projection formula. Therefore, just by looking at this Fisher projection, we can say A is the erythroisomer. Now look at this B. Here, the methyl at the top and methyl at the bottom, they are on the same side. The groups at the top and bottom are on the same side. But these hydrogen similar groups are on the opposite side. So that similar groups are in the opposite side, therefore this is not erythro. So the first statement says A and B are erythro, but B is not erythro, but it is thrio. So this is thrio. That can be confirmed in another way. Just by looking at the formula, I can say top and bottom are on the same side. So similar groups are the similar methyl groups on the same side, but here the two hydrogens are present in the opposite. Let me work out this molecule in a different way. I am just drawing the Sagar's formula of the compound B here. So these two carbon atoms are shown here. This is the carbon at the bottom and this carbon is shown here. These are the two chiral centers. The bottom carbon is having the two groups at the top and bottom have to be shown downwards. That's the idea that you should remember. Now the two groups in the arms are shown in the left and right as it is in the Fisher projection. Br at the left, hydrogen at the right, hydrogen at the left, OH at the right. Okay, good. Now you do a rotation about the carbon-carbon single bond and bring the two dissimilar groups down. Do a rotation and bring this bromine down. When bromine comes down, hydrogen will go here and methyl will occupy the place of hydrogen. So methyl has moved here, hydrogen. So now you have got the two dissimilar groups, bromine and OH, that I have to bring down. So I have brought bromine down now. Now I have to bring this OH down. So about this carbon-carbon single bond, I am doing a rotation. I am bringing this OH down. When OH comes down, this methyl will go to the place of hydrogen. Hydrogen will go to the place of OH. That is what I have shown. So by doing rotation, I have brought the dissimilar groups to the same side. That is to the down. Now convert this into Fisher projection. So while converting the Sagars to Fisher, always the groups which are shown at the down should be kept at the top and bottom of the Fisher projection. So this group in the front carbon should be at the bottom, and this group at the back carbon should be at the top. So bromine is kept here, and in this carbon, hydrogen at the left, methyl at the right, that I have shown. Methyl at the left, hydrogen at the right, I have placed them. Now you can see the two similar groups, methyl methyl are on the opposite, hydrogen hydrogen are on the opposite. Therefore this is a thioisomer and not an erythro compound. Similarly, look at they have said C and D are thioforms. Just look at C. In C you cannot assign erythro or thio notations because all the three groups are same, A, B, X, and here A, B, and this is also X, ABX, ABX. I said ABX, ABY. There should be one group that is different, but here all the three groups are same. Therefore, for this compound you cannot assign erythro or thio notations. Whereas for this compound you can try to assign erythro-thrio notations. So here methyl methyl are at the top and bottom, that means they are on the same side, but hydrogen hydrogen are in the opposite side. So similar groups in the opposite, therefore this is thrio. Let me convert this into Sagar's formula now. This is the front carbon for me, so I have put it here. That carbon has a methyl at the bottom, that I have to show downward, hydrogen at the left, bromine at the right. And this is the next asymmetry carbon that is taken here, that has the top group methyl, that should be shown down, OH at the right and hydrogen at the left. So OH at the left, hydrogen at the right, as it is in the Fisher projection. Now what I have to do is I have to bring the dissimilar groups down. So hydrogen hydrogen, methyl methyl are similar, the dissimilar groups are bromine and OH. So do rotation about carbon carbon single bond, bring the bromine down. When bromine comes here, methyl will go to the place of hydrogen, hydrogen will go to the place of bromine. So I have done that. So by doing a rotation, bring this OH down. When OH comes down, hydrogen will go to the place of OH, methyl will go to the place of hydrogen. Yes, I have done that. Now the two dissimilar groups are down. The down group should be kept at the top and bottom of the Fisher projection. So draw a straight line. This bottom group should be kept here, and this bottom group at the backside carbon should be kept at the top. And these two groups at the left and right should be shown at the left and right of Fisher projection. Methyl left, hydrogen right. Hydrogen left, methyl right. Yes, now look at the structure. In the Fisher projection, similar groups are present in the opposite side. Therefore, this is the thrio form. C is not thrio or erythro, but D is thrio. Likewise, you can work out the other three statements and identify that the answer given as C is correct. Here is another problem for you. Which of the following compounds can be represented as thrio and erythroisomers? Look at the structure 1. This is carbon 1, asymmetry carbon, having bromine, phenyl and a hydrogen. So apart from these two groups, there is a hydrogen. And here you have hydrogen, bromine and a methyl. So the three groups here are hydrogen, bromine, phenyl. Here hydrogen, bromine, AB, AB, and the group that is different is phenyl and methyl. Therefore this compound can be assigned thioerythro notation. Look at this structure. Methyl, methyl, OH, OH, and the third group is hydrogen, hydrogen. All the three groups are same. So only two groups should be same and the third group should be different. But here all the three groups present in the chiral centers are same. CH3, CH3, OH, OH. The remaining group is hydrogen, hydrogen. So this cannot be assigned erythrothrio notation. And look at this structure. This has a OH. This is one chiral center. There are two chiral centers. In one chiral center you have OH, hydrogen and phenyl. Here OH, hydrogen, methyl. OH hydrogen, OH hydrogen. The third group is phenyl here, methyl here. Therefore, for this you can assign erythrothrio notation. And here you have two chiral centers which are not adjacent. Therefore, this is also not eligible for applying these erythrothrio notations. Therefore, the compounds 1 and 3, for these two alone, we can assign erythrothrio notations, because these two compounds only fulfill the condition for erythrothrio, that is two chiral centers with the general formula CABX, CABY. Therefore 1 and 3, for these two compounds, that is the choice is B. So for these two compounds alone we can assign erythrothrio notations. Another problem here, consider the following statements about this reaction. In this elimination reaction, of the various stereoisomers of the reactant, only stereoisomers of proper geometry, that is anti-periplanar conformation, will undergo this elimination reaction. So we have studied under elimination reactions, that is the two groups which are eliminated has to be anti-coplanar. For E2 elimination to take place, the first and foremost condition is the two groups which are eliminated should be anti-coplanar. So there should be a proper geometry, the anti-periplanar conformation, that alone will undergo elimination. That is the first statement. Number two, erythroisomer of this compound will undergo elimination reaction at a faster rate. So this compound can have two different isomers, erythrothrio. Erythrothrio notation can be assigned for this molecule, because you see hydrogen phenyl, two groups are same, bromine and methyl are different. So this molecule can have erythro and thrio isomers. So the erythroisomer of this compound will undergo elimination reaction at a faster rate. Now we have to check whether these statements are correct or not. The thioisomer will form the trans olefin. This is the trans product. So only if this is the thioisomer, it will undergo elimination to form the trans olefin. Of these three statements, all the three are correct, 2 and 3 are correct, 1 and 3, 1 and 2. So among the four choices, which one is correct, that we are going to identify now. This is the problem given for us. This is an elimination reaction using a strong base, that is dehydrohalogenation with a base. For E2 elimination reaction to take place with a base, the two groups which are eliminated, hydrogen in one carbon and bromine in the other carbon, should be oriented anti-coplanar or anti-periplanar. So let us consider the erythro isomer of this compound. Let me view the molecule from here. I am standing here to look at this molecule. This is the carbon next to me that I am putting at the bottom in the Fischer projection. This carbon has a hydrogen phenyl and a methyl, hydrogen phenyl methyl. And this is another chiral carbon having hydrogen phenyl and bromine. This is the erythroisomer where the similar groups are on the same side. Now for elimination to take place by E2 mechanism with a base, the hydrogen in one carbon and bromine in the other carbon should be anti-coplanar. So this erythro Fischer projection formula I am converting to Sagar's. How will you convert Fischer projection to Sagar's? You draw a slanting line and put the bottom carbon at the front the top carbon at the back. So this is the carbon next to me in the front. I am just looking at the molecule from here. This is the front carbon for me and this is the back. And the groups which are at the bottom and top should be placed downward. Methyl at in the downward bond, bromine in the downward. And the two groups which are present in the horizontal lines should be shown in the arms of the Savar's formula as they are in the fissure. Hydrogen phenyl, hydrogen phenyl, hydrogen phenyl. So the same way they are mentioned. Now for E2 reaction to take place, this hydrogen and bromine should go to the same plane. So you have to rotate so that the hydrogen will go up. So I am just rotating this so that the hydrogen comes up. When hydrogen comes up, phenyl will go down here and the methyl will go to the next place. So hydrogen is up now and bromine is down. So when you apply a base, the base will come here to abstract this hydrogen. So this CH bond will be gradually broken and these bonded electrons will move here and this CBr bond also will be broken gradually. So while these two bonds are gradually broken, a new pi bond will be gradually formed here. So during the formation of the pi bond here, these two carbon atoms will try to get the sp2, the planar shape. That is, these two phenyl groups will try to come closer. So in the transition state of this reaction, the two phenyl groups will be closer, the bulky groups will be closer. As a result, the energy of the transition state will be higher. Therefore, this reaction will have higher energy of activation. Therefore, this elimination reaction, dehydrohalogenation from erythroisomer, will require higher energy of activation. Therefore, this reaction will go at a slower rate. Whereas, let us consider the thioisomer. So where, this is the front carbon for me. I am just standing here to look at the molecule. This is the front carbon for me and I am just putting down. And this is the back carbon and I have to keep at the top. And in the thioisomer, the two similar groups should be in the opposite side. Phenyl, phenyl, hydrogen, hydrogen, opposite, thioisomer. For elimination to take place, the bromine in this carbon and hydrogen in this carbon should become anticoplanar. So do a rotation, bring this carbon to the vertical position. So I am just rotating this. Therefore, hydrogen occupies this vertical site. So it is shown vertically and this phenyl will go here and methyl will be. So just you are rotating in this direction. When hydrogen goes up, this phenyl will come down and methyl also will move here. So now hydrogen is up and bromine is down. And these two bonds are this bond and this bond and this hydrogen, carbon, carbon, bromine. These four atoms are coplanar and these two bonds are in the opposite side. So these two are anticoplanar. Now when base approaches, the hydrogen CH bond will be gradually broken and the electrons will be gradually moving here and bromine also will go out. So during the formation of a new pi bond here, now you are having phenyl groups, the bulky groups in the opposite side. Therefore, the transition state will have lower energy and the reaction will go at a faster rate, and in your product also the two phenyl groups will be in the opposite side. So it is the thioisomer that will undergo elimination at a faster rate. So the first statement given was of the various stereoisomers of the reactant, only the stereoisomers of the proper geometry, that is anti-periplanar conformation, will undergo elimination. The hydrogen and bromine should be anti-periplanar. That's the correct statement. And it is the thioisomer that reacts faster to form the trans olefin. So these two statements are correct. The correct choice is C. The last problem for this module. Find out the stereoisomers of 3-butanol, 3-bromo, 2-butanol. First of all, you draw the Fischer projection by keeping the carbon skeleton in the vertical line. Butane, 4 carbon atoms are there. So keep the 4 carbon atoms in the vertical line. The second carbon contains a OH, 2-butanol. So put the OH here and hydrogen in the other side. Third carbon will have a bromine. So 3-bromo, 2-butanol. Now look at this structure. It has 2 chiral carbon atoms. A molecule with 2 chiral centers will have 2 power 2 stereoisomers. A molecule with n number of chiral centers will have 2 power n stereoisomers. Since there are 2 chiral centers, it will have 2 power n, that is 2 power 2, that is 4 stereoisomers. Now look at this structure. There are 2 chiral centers having methyl hydrogen, 2 similar groups, one group that is different. Therefore, you can write erythrothioisomers for this compound by keeping hydrogen, methyl on the same side or keeping them in the opposite side. Here these two are the erythroisomers. So with all the guidelines I have given so far, now you can identify these two as the erythroenantiomers and these two as thioenantiomers. Therefore, so far we have discussed how to assign the relative configurations, DL configurations for molecules, and what are the demerits of the DL configuration, and how do we assign RS configurations, the absolute configurations for chiral centers, and what are the advantages of the RS nomenclature over the DL nomenclature, and what is mean by erythrothrio notation, how do we apply these erythrothrio notations, for what type of molecules we apply the erythrothrio notations. All these things we have discussed, and with these informations we are coming to the end of this module.